One of my favorite stories about this building is that we were originally going to call the place just Bodega. I like the idea of making San Antonio's first bodega. And we're working on it. I had signs up, said under construction, closed. And so many people walked up to the door and they'd rattle the door, have to get off the ladder and come down and say, "Can I help you?" And they say, "Hey, what are you doing in my store?" And I thought, now that's weird because it's my store two different ways. One, this is my childhood store. And two, I just bought it. And that happened though so many times. So many people came up and they rattled it and they said, "What are you doing to my store specifically?" that I realized it's actually not my store. And it's now Jefferson Bodega. And the point is, it's our store. So I'm Luke Horgan, originally from New York City. And I moved down here to San Antonio, Texas when I was about 15 years old. Lived just a couple blocks from the store. So this store ended up being the first place I ever tried Chinese candy. This was, the skateboard inside is the skateboard I used up and down this property until I got kicked off. My background is both psychology and data. And so I did that on Wall Street, then I did that in media for a bit, and then I was running digital data at USA. As we built digital experiences, how do they use them, how are they utilized? Now, I always wanted to apply the same kind of concept to a store, to a retail experience. How many people come through the door versus how many impressions or ads do they see of the product, then which products do they buy, ultimately, and which do they repeat buy? We get to look at how many people walk through the door, then what they're seeing and what kind of art and what impressions that has on sales ultimately. Now, while that's great for the consumer, it's also very powerful in discussions with our vendors. So when they say, "Hey, you got to also have this one kind of beer," we can say, "Hey, look, no one bought it. We tried it, no one bought it. Then we tried it again and put it in a different place and no one bought it." You know what I mean? So like that to me tells me the data, and it means that way we only have the good stuff. There's a lot to see here and it's overwhelming already. Your fourth time, I want you to kind of wander out and be like, "Oh man, how did I not catch that?" The idea is we curate it. As you would a gallery, as we do, we curate the art, we curate the music, we curate the experience. You also have to curate the products. And so when we use what we know is good, what people are talking about, what we see on Instagram, matched up with the data, that way we're only going to have things that people really like. I mean some odd things as well. We're one of San Antonio's very few independent convenience stores. So when I hear there's some kind of crazy nerds or some kind of M&Ms at some place somewhere in South Texas, I'm driving out to that warehouse. Convenience stores are often like this thing in between. You're on the way to work, on the way to school, on the way home, on the way to the party. And so we wanted to take that kind of experience on the way to, and instead of it just being something in between, make it also an experience. So even in between, and then if it's going to be an experience, I want it to be positive to recharge you. Because if you're on the way to work, or you're on the way to school, or you're just trying to get out of the heat, that's what you're looking for, is to recharge somehow. So positive energy, positive music, good vibes, good people. And so the store is supposed to reflect what the neighborhood says they want, what they drink, what they're into. Nobody else is selling Faygo. We sell a lot of Faygo because the neighborhood's enjoying it. That's the idea, so it's Jefferson Bodega because it's ours, because I relent and I agree, it is actually our store. So many people feel like endeared to it, and that's actually special to us. We want to celebrate it.